the difference between colonizers and settlers is crucial to understanding the island's dynamics from its origins. The interaction between Spanish settlers and the Taino people, beginning in 1492, was complex and multifaceted. Initially, relations were characterized by a mix of cooperation and mutual influence. While some settlers engaged in exploitative practices under the encomienda system, leading to harsh treatment and a significant decline in the Taino population, others sought peaceful coexistence. A pivotal moment in the fight for justice came in 1511, when Fray Antonio de Montesinos delivered his famous sermon, El Grito de Justicia, also known as the Cry for Justice, in Santo Domingo, condemning the harsh treatment of the Taino by the Spanish settlers. Montesinos' passionate plea for justice resonated deeply and sparked significant change in future interactions. However, the impact of European diseases, such as smallpox, measles, and influenza, compounded the hardships faced by the Taino. These diseases, to which the Taino had no natural immunity, contributed significantly to their population decline. Notably, some Taino learned Spanish and integrated into settler communities. These individuals often participated in the cultural and social life of the colonies, contributing to a blending of traditions and practices. For instance, Taino leaders and their families sometimes adopted Spanish customs and even intermarried with settlers, creating a rich cultural fusion. Settlers are individuals or groups who move to a new area to live and establish a community, often seeking opportunities or escaping hardships, and typically aiming to integrate or coexist with the local environment and population. Colonizers, on the other hand, are agents of a foreign power who establish control over a new territory, often exploiting resources and subjugating the local population to expand their nation's influence and power. While settlers seek to build a new life, colonizers impose their control, often through force. In simple terms, the Spanish settle in Santo Domingo while the French colonize and exploited Haiti. Note: Christopher Columbus's initial voyage in 1492 was not intended to colonize new lands but rather to find an alternative route to India for trade, specifically seeking valuable spices and goods. However, upon discovering the Caribbean islands, Columbus established a settlement in Santo Domingo on Hispaniola, which became the first European foothold in the New World. Santo Domingo was left as a permanent settlement and later left on its own as Spain embarked on the broader colonization of the Americas. It is essential to understand this part of Santo Domingo's history to fully grasp the colony's evolution and the formation of the Dominican unique identity. At this point in history, Santo Domingo's role evolved significantly from being the center of Spanish colonial efforts in the New World to serving primarily as a transient port. Ships arriving from Spain would stop in Santo Domingo before continuing on to the more resource-rich territories of continental America. As the Spanish crown's interest shifted towards exploiting the vast wealth of places like Mexico and Peru, Santo Domingo's importance as a permanent settlement waned. The city, once a hub of colonial power and administration, found itself increasingly sidelined as attention and resources were diverted elsewhere. This shift had profound implications for Santo Domingo's economy, population, and identity. While strong ties with Spain were maintained, the flow of resources and settlers from the mother country slowed dramatically. In response, settlers in Santo Domingo began to develop a sense of autonomy and a unique identity, shaped by their isolation and the need to sustain themselves independently. To address these challenges, Spain encouraged migration from the Canary Islands during the late 17th and early 18th centuries, incentivizing Canarians to settle in Santo Domingo and work the land. This effort helped to boost agricultural production and sustain the population, allowing the colony to maintain its Spanish heritage while simultaneously fostering a distinct local culture that blended European and Caribbean influences. Thus, what began as a point for colonization gradually transformed into a unique and evolving entity. Over time, Santo Domingo's sense of autonomy and cultural fusion laid the groundwork for the emergence of the Dominican Republic as a nation of its own, with a distinct identity that reflects both its colonial past and its journey towards independence. For 205 long years, Spanish settlers, rather than colonizers, significantly shaped the island's cultural landscape. While the rich and colorful Taino people were integral to the island's history and did suffer the consequence of the arrival, the primary goal was discovering new lands in a world that was no longer considered flat. Imagine the monumental paradigm shift of the time. A financially struggling Spain discovers new territories and establishes a base in Santo Domingo. The island rapidly became a hotspot for future endeavors and further colonization of America. These Spanish settlers blended with the local Taino populations and African slaves, contributing to the formation of a unique cultural blend. This mixture of Spanish, Taino, and African influences gave rise to the rich and diverse mestizo culture that characterizes the Dominican Republic today, which has never forgotten its Spanish heritage. An interesting fact is that most, if not all, Dominican names and surnames can be traced to Spanish origins. Common examples include Rodriguez, Fernandez, Gonzalez, Martinez, Perez, Lopez, Sanchez, Morales, Garcia and Gomez. Just to name a few. The settlers never renounced their roots or culture. They retained their Catholic faith and Spanish language, among other cultural aspects. In contrast, Haiti's colonization and slavery history were markedly different. The French plantation system and brutal conditions of slavery led to a revolutionary struggle that established Haiti as the first independent black nation in 1804. This distinct historical trajectory resulted in a cultural and social landscape vastly different from that of the Dominican Republic, shaped by its own unique experiences and influences. When Haiti declared independence from France on January 1, 1804, its leaders took significant steps to establish the nation as a symbol of black liberation and to distance it from its colonial and racial oppressors. Several actions were taken to solidify Haiti as an all-black nation, both symbolically and legally. Stripping white from the flag, Jean-Jacques Dessalines, one of the leaders of the Haitian Revolution and the first ruler of independent Haiti, removed the white band from the French tricolor flag. The new Haitian flag consisted of blue and red horizontal stripes, symbolizing the black and mixed-race populations of Haiti. The removal of white was a powerful symbol of rejecting French colonial rule and European dominance. Constitutional restrictions on whites. In 1805, Dessalines introduced a constitution that explicitly restricted white people from owning land or becoming citizens of Haiti. This was part of an effort to prevent any return to colonialism or white dominance in the newly independent nation. The constitution declared that all citizens of Haiti were to be considered black, regardless of their skin color, as a way to unify the population and reinforce the idea of an anti-colonial, anti-slavery state. Ban on white property ownership. The Haitian Constitution of 1805 also prohibited whites from owning property on Haitian soil. This was a direct attempt to prevent the return of the French or any other European powers from re-establishing control over the island through economic means. These actions were rooted in the trauma of slavery and colonization, as well as the fear of re-enslavement by European powers. Haiti's leaders aimed to create a strong, independent black nation that was free from the influence and control of white colonizers. These early actions in Haiti's formation have left a lasting impact on the country's national identity and continue to shape its collective mindset. The strong emphasis on black liberation and anti-colonialism has fostered a deep sense of pride in Haiti's role as the first black republic and the only successful slave revolt in history. However, it has also contributed to a lingering suspicion of foreign influence and a sense of entitlement to the entire island. Regardless of the 207-year gap between the Spanish settlement in 1492 and the introduction of slaves in Haiti, and the 397 years from Spain's possession of the island of Hispaniola to the Haitian slave revolt, the Haitian claim to the entire island defies any logical understanding. This historical context plays into current tensions between Haiti and the Dominican Republic, as some Haitians still view the division of the island as illegitimate. Although the Dominican Republic did not colonize Haiti, nor did it ever invade the French side or Haiti itself, it is perceived by Haitians as a colonizer nation, ruled by a white elite, and thus viewed as illegitimate foreigners on the island called Haiti.
The roots of this conflict are in that they're essentially a conflict between the DR and its own blackness. A lot of people paint this as an issue between Haiti and the Dominican Republic, but you don't see the same kind of retaliatory actions on the Haitian side. This actually has started long before. A lot of people don't know that the DR is actually the first place where enslaved Africans were brought to the Americas in 1500. So naturally, when Haiti became independent, it made sense for Haitians to help the Dominican side also achieve independence. Now, in most countries, this would have been painted as a victory, but because the Dominican Republic continues to be a state controlled by white supremacist leanings and a white elite,
the legacy of these early actions continues to fuel the perception of entitlement and resistance to external control, influencing migration dynamics and cross-border relations. While Haiti was fighting against slavery and striving for recognition as a black republic, the Spanish eastern side of the island, now the Dominican Republic, was pursuing its own path to autonomy from Spain. Haiti, following its successful slave revolt and subsequent declaration as a free republic, found itself grappling with a massive debt imposed by France. This debt was ostensibly compensation for the loss of French property during the Revolution, which included not only slaves but also the destroyed plantations and infrastructure vital to Haiti's economy. France used this debt as leverage, essentially as a condition for recognizing Haiti's independence and refraining from further attempts to reclaim the colony. The revolution, while a monumental victory for freedom, left Haiti in an economically precarious position. The destruction of plantations and other key infrastructure during the revolt severely hampered the country's ability to generate wealth, leading to an enduring cycle of debt and political instability. Faced with these challenges, expansion into the Spanish-controlled eastern part of the island, today's Dominican Republic, became an attractive option for Haiti. This region offered fertile land, resources, and the potential to alleviate some of Haiti's economic pressures. Interestingly, a narrative has persisted within Haiti that the entire island of Hispaniola rightfully belongs to them. This belief is tied to the notion that Haiti, derived from a Taino word meaning land of mountains, advocating a historical and moral obligation to avenge the Taino people and reclaim the island. This narrative is common among Haitians, despite the significant historical, genetic, and temporal discrepancies between the era of the Taino people and the period when African slaves were brought to Haiti hundreds of years later. Despite this, the notion of reclaiming the island based on Taino heritage remains a potent part of Haitian identity and is taught in schools even as of 2024.
We're here living on an island and they're trying to stop migrants from crossing. But you can't really stop this phenomenon. It's going to happen. Even if they deport people, this will continue to happen. There has to be a change here in Haiti. This is what's needed.